Hello and welcome to ComicSins, where the sins are snarky and the points don't matter. That's right, just like an event from Marvel Comics, the points don't matter. Today's comic is Civil War II, The Legend of Curly's Gold. Damn it, another Heroes vs. Heroes event? I'm adding 10 cents for this right off the bat for being the most overused and underutilized story starter. Oh right, that tagline. 3 cents for reminding me of that tagline, because it's not about either. Columbus where? Ohio? New York? Kansas? If you're going to have locations, don't make them that vague so that they're so totally pointless. Yeah, don't be afraid of the 10 people there to kidnap you. Also the Inhumans. Oh my god, you're serious. I did a ComicSins forever ago set in the Stalinverse. Even that wasn't this red. I honestly like Brian Michael Bendis as a writer, but I cringe when I see his name on an event. Weeks later, pointless cold open then. Are the name tags there for those who only bought this because it was rushed out to bank off the Captain America movie that unscrewed the proverbial pooch that was the comic version? That'd be really cool if it didn't look like a reject from DC's New 52, complete with Tron lines. That means Thor is here. How do you actually speak in a logo? I've always wondered that. As much as I am going to rag on this comic, the art isn't that bad. Enough for 3 wins, I'll say. Good for you, Marquez. That said, if you're against a giant celestial of unbelievable power, it's safe to say maybe you shouldn't bring the people whose only contribution would be punching it. Not saying it won't look neat, but Nightcrawler doesn't even have an active power. He just teleports. Also, where are they coming from? You have Quicksilver running on air, Thor flying directly at the reader, Hawkeye is just looking like he jumped off of something with an actual flyer lower than him. And what even is Old Man Logan doing there? 3 cents for confusing a neat shot with actual physics. I totally object to the fact that Sister Grimm, Nico Minoru, was not invited to this. She was a contender for Sorcerer or Sorceress Supreme, not like freaking Hellstrom over there. While a nice shot, the random kid means that no one saw Gozer over there and decided to run, or is this just that New York attitude coming through? I can see the script now for this panel. I need him to look as Jesus-like as possible. No, a cross maybe too on the nose. When the Inhumans keep secrets, things go backwards for us. We're trying something new. Good for you. It's funny because that led to the genocide of the mutant race. 3 cents because I'm still bitter about that. You're an Inhuman who can see the future before it happens. How exactly? You've both run into people who've seen the future before. It's not actually that uncommon. You get a sin for now because this is basically the crux of what's about to happen, and boy is it gonna be a rapid fire round soon. Can you draw us a picture? Get little Jean Grey in here. Is that a good idea? It came out of my mouth, Steve. So yeah, it's, by definition, a good idea. What about this rift between the X-Men and the Inhumans? It's a party! That is oddly caring, considering Steve at this point is trying to become leader of Hydra, because that's a ComicSins video that will come very soon. Just take the sin for now. I don't have any weird thoughts in my head. Everybody does. You should see what She-Hulk is thinking right about now. Oh yeah, I did actually forget how unlikable Jean Grey was with her disregard for psychic boundaries. His mind. It cannot be read. Interesting. What does that mean? It means he's as dumb as a bag of bricks, and there's nothing behind his character other than a reason for heroes to start punching each other. No, I'm serious. Ulysses is a non-character in this. He's just a plot device. Nope, I'm not gonna have a morality debate with you, Steve. Those never end well for us. Haha, you get it? Because of Civil War. Oh god, I wish this was as interesting as that. Ooh, now I feel dirty. Morality debate? Now this is a morality issue? You have an Inhuman with the power to predict possible future events. We have no idea what his deal is. No offense, kid, I'm sure you're a lovely individual. We have no idea about the probability ratio his power is working with. Probability ratio? All I care about is that this world keeps turning. It wasn't a possible future, Tone. It was going to happen. Did you see that thing? But it didn't happen because we stopped it. So it wasn't the future he saw. It was a possible future. Think about it. In a universe that has been torn apart a lot, especially since the Secret War's great retcon, why is Tony considered wrong here? He's right. They stopped the vision, so it was not the actual future. Again, yesterday was yesterday. Easy call. The big cosmic monster doesn't invade. No harm, no foul. But what if the next one isn't so easy? What if the next one is one of us? What if Ulysses tells us you are a danger to our future? Do we stop you before you do your voodoo that you're going to do, even though maybe you didn't even know you were going to do it? Depends on what. And there's another great point, Tony. But no, you're going to be in the wrong according to this comic. I thought you were a futurist. I am, to my core. That means I respect the future. I believe in the future. I worship at its feet. I'm saying maybe we should be careful about what our new buddy Ulysses here tells us and what we do about it. But I'm glad you're all here, and enjoy the party. On the other hand, every other panel in this scene, Tony seems to have a different direction for why he's a bit pissy over this. I just want to see a one-shot comic explaining how the New York mayor's office deals with everyone wanting to live in a futuristic city in New York Bay. Is that so wrong? Person wakes up after a vision in terror cliché. Tony Stark's lab. Because Tony Stark would be doing suit tests in T'Challa's lab, right? Hello, Miss Watson. What did I do wrong now? Oh, right. Mary Jane Watson is Tony's assistant now. Have we gotten any answer for why the former model/club owner was a good choice for personal assistant? Yes, we get it. Tony likes redheads. The power to break this armor would have... How did the impact sensors not counterbalance? It must have been a force. How did this happen? In a sea of really stupid writing, I actually think this scene, just Tony seeing Rhodey dead like this, worked very well and really showed off the character. Bravo. But sadly, character death to start an event cliché. What happened? Thanos. I always get giggly when Marvel tries making Thanos a legitimate threat. We ambushed him. How? We knew where he was going to be, and we were waiting for him. He still thinks we have a cosmic cube on Earth, and he really... Carol isn't this stupid. The Ultimates aren't that stupid. You have a red line on Thanos, you call in everyone! I told you this would happen. I'm sorry. I told you. Knowing what we knew at the time, I do it again. And so would Rhodey. You know that. So would... No, you do not say his name. I will give this another win just because this is what the book needed to be, not what we will see later. It's our future, Carol, not his. Fight for it. Beep. No, I'm sure Tony has a future unless you want to end that. I truly want to give this scene a win. It's emotional and all that, but Carol just got 2 people killed going in half-cocked. Think that'll make her act smarter for the next 7 issues? Nope. That's right, Tony. I deserve to be punched in the face for reading this. I'm adding a collective 7 sins for these variants. While they do look neat and I would love to have them postered on my wall, they have absolutely nothing to do with the story. Wish they did, though. Go home. We will talk this over when your head is clear.
I'm taking Ulysses.
He is a subject of my kingdom. If our roles were reversed, you would never allow it. Oh yeah, when it's a human, Medusa is just ready to talk. When it's the mutant race, who cares? I understand your grief, but I cannot let this happen. Last warning, go home. Medusa, I respect you, but you're really in my personal space here. What's going on? I'm begging you, Tony, go home. Okay, snark aside, this isn't a bad scene. However, he then goes on to take out the 2 most prominent war-ready Inhumans. What does Stark think he's doing? Doesn't matter what he thinks he's doing. He just declared war on the Inhumans. Who hasn't declared war on the Inhumans at this point? Director Hill, you're in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., and you know your business better than anyone, but I would send a squad of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents to Stark Tower immediately. There's no way Stark is at Stark Tower. You're right. Strike 1 for Carol's idea. and Medusa knows Stark isn't there. Medusa is the leader of her people, and her people were just invaded and attacked. Stark forced her into a proportionate response. He forced her hand. And that's strike 2 on the same page! It's a hologram, probably an AI, but I grew up in the Baxter building. I was practically married to one at one point. Ew. When were you practically married to one? There was Frankie Ray, the Skrull pretending to be Alicia, Namorita, and Crystal. Which one was the AI? And are we suggesting that Karnak couldn't see that the red floating head was a hologram? This building is ours. Makes sense. He took your guy, you take his building. Proportionate response right there. Nothing says let's not escalate this by descending from the heavens with several platoons of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and other heroes, am I right? You were wrong. Just so we are clear, we were attacked, one of ours taken. Why? For helping you, for sharing ourselves with you. Phrasing, Medusa. Although seeing that comic would be a win. So is this comic ever going to be about protecting or changing the future? Because right now it's all about Tony dealing with the fact that his best friend was killed by Carol's terrible leadership skills. Are you gonna hurt me? Are you gonna kill me? I'm Iron Man. I'm one of the good guys. I know, I'm a big fan. Shut up. Was. Oh sure, everyone's a fan of the snarky billionaire, but when he has you tied to a chair, unless you're Christian Grey, you're just not into it. I didn't kill your friend. Show me how your powers work. What? These visions that you have one. Show me. Okay, I like this whole scene, which breaks down Tony Stark's analytical mind into needing to understand the visions. It's pretty great, just wish it was in a more focused book. Actually, to be kind and cut some of the snark down, I'm collectively adding 5 wins for the small good moments that do get buried by a mediocre at best event. Hank McCoy, damn, I keep forgetting he's with the Inhumans, because that's just weird. Yes, it would be weird for Beast to side with the very people that are killing his species. How big is that hammer supposed to be? Tony, Carol, just in time for Parcheesi. That line was Parcheesi. True, but I'm in mourning. They're not all going to be winners. Sin. Be glad I don't give even more for that exchange. Is everyone up to date on the subtext of this puppy? We all understand what happened here. Everyone knows that Rhodey is no longer with us, and She-Hulk isn't that much better off because Carol wants to control the future, because it could have been any of us that died. Should I send this because it's telling us what we already know, or that it thinks that any of what he just said was subtext? It could have been you. It could have been you, and I'm actually shocked that it wasn't you, Clint. Tony, you kidnapped a kid from his home. Tortured him. Was that an Age of Ultron reference with the whole Clint red herring? I don't know whether to send it or win it. Nothing to see here. Move along. Come on, I didn't torture him. Look. He tortured me. A little bit. Not really. I mean, what? Scared him with a punch and a poke to the head? He was in more danger from Jane Foster's giant hammer than Tony at this point. Tony. All day, every day, we fight for the future. We fight to make the world a better place. Don't start lecturing me to cover, and if we win or lose, we are accountable for our actions. Tony, stop. I thought we agreed on this. I think I'm just going to add a full 5 cents for how Tony does get why Carol is in the wrong here, but gets continued to be pressed as being off base. 2 questions. Why is Hulk the size of an apartment building, and why doesn't he have any pants on? Did you all feel that? I felt it, saw it, tasted it. He projected those images. I thought it was just a vision. No, the projecting it into us. This is new. Was it real? It felt real. Really real. Are we to believe that will happen? How do you know that it's new, Tony? You've never seen him use his power, or even got an explanation of how it worked before. The Hulk is gonna kill you all. Does this surprise anyone? It's the Hulk. They've all fought the Hulk a billion times at this point, including the World War Hulk storyline where he was actually out for blood. Someone sees them lose for once and suddenly it's an event-level vision? Come on! That's Amadeus Cho's Hulk's hair on a distinctly oversized Banner Hulk body. Yeah, I'm going that nitpicky on this cover. Of course, I was part of a consortium of representatives from the superhero community that traveled to a location outside of Alpine, Utah. For what purpose? And now we're using a courtroom framing device? Courage under fire this ain't. Tony, guys, I haven't had a Hulk incident in almost a year. Sure, confront the guy you think will kill you by being overly cold and confrontational. That's smart. Hey, who should we have brought to talk with Banner? Everyone! There's a young Inhuman here. Say hi, Ulysses. No, thank you. Smart move, Ulysses. But remember, if things go sideways, it was Carol who put you in the crosshairs. We explained to him. I explained to him that every other vision or experience or whatever you want to call them, whatever this young Inhuman had, they came true. Or, more to the point, we were able to stop them before they came true. The visions were more or less correct, but not everyone agreed, did they? Or, in short, he has visions of a possible future that we stopped, so Tony's right, none of them actually came true yet. Tony and I clearly disagree about using this kid's visions to fight for a safer future. I say, well, you know what I say. You say the future has to happen or it isn't the future. And the rest of you, you're here. You're all ready to put me away? Put me down? No, Tony thinks that the boys' predictions are showing a probable world, and not that they aren't helpful, just he doesn't trust the person, which is backed up by Carol saying that they've stopped his visions from actually coming true. You're experimenting on yourself again? After all the horror, you don't understand. My new work has kept the Hulk away. Bruce Banner, as director of S.H.I.E.L.D., I am placing you under arrest. We have to detain you. I'm begging you, come quietly. Do not make this difficult. I'm sure that's the best answer. Hey yo, we think you're gonna kill us even though you haven't had a Hulk up in a year, so let's arrest you before we actually check your work. Apparently Green Arrow decided to join the fight. Wait, this isn't the ending for Cry for Justice? I was here to help him. I was here to stop you from doing something like this. He's my friend. This frame feels really out of context. Tony hasn't moved towards Bruce's body or the shooter. Everyone else is surrounding Hawkeye as he throws his bow down from the tree. This feels like it's just here to showcase how many more of Tony's friends need to die for this event. Avengers, X-Men, and Inhumans. This is officially a federal crime scene. Clint, answer me. Clint, look at me. Why? Why? Because Bruce Banner asked me to. I'm going to add a win. I'm going to add a win. I shouldn't, because this book is literally just playing out like a regular Avengers book, with a storyline that could have been really neat, not as an event. But I love Hawkeye as a character, and I could see him taking that shot, despite what some people have said. Well, this isn't weirdly insulting. It's not, I promise. I'm telling you that I trust you with my life. If it's been almost a whole year, maybe it's all behind you. I dream as him. I dream rage. I wake up with the taste of blood in my mouth. I wake up and I'm not sure if it happened or not. Sometimes I have to turn on the news to make sure. And I know. You know, everyone knows. I may wake up one day and it's not a dream. And if that happens, it means that I've tried everything else and nothing else has worked. Should we compare this Bruce Banner to the spastic from Thor Ragnarok? Was anyone else present at this meeting? No. So you can understand how someone would see this as your word against... I know, but... Mr. Barton, on top of this wild story, to which the only other witness is the man you murdered in cold blood, you do have, if I may put it politely, a very spotty past. I do. So you would have us take you at your word, even though you admit to your criminal past. I would hope my other, more recent record of very public actions defending this country and this world would more than make up for the sins of my youth. Objection! The Avengers, the U.S. government, and literally everyone else has forgiven his very over-embellished criminal history. But I know, in my heart, lives were saved because of it. And this young Inhuman with these visions of the future, you've been using his powers since Banner's death? Yes, oh yes, to great success. Define great success. Wait. Carol's doubled down on Ulysses without batting an eye for someone jumping the gun and killing Bruce Banner? Lady, this is starting to lead into "it's God's will" territory. We're supposed to be guarding. We're supposed to be protecting, defending, avenging. What was this? Accountability. I know I keep saying this, but this right damn here is what this book needs to be focused on. Accountability. My God, was this written over a drunken weekend? You made this happen, Danvers. That's not fair. You chased this. You couldn't leave this well enough alone, and now another one of us is gone. And yet, Carol seems to be unfazed at how many Avengers keep dying when she follows a third party's vision. Guys, what do we do? This is nuts. I think I'm with Iron Man. Yeah, me too. And thus the champion book was born. Well, not yet, but at least they understand that Carol's nuts. Shame that Kamala has to realize it this way. Tony, let's let S.H.I.E.L.D. do what it needs to do here. You can't come back from this, Danvers. He murdered an Avenger. They're going to bury him for this. Then they're going to bury you for forcing his hand. No, because that would be an interesting way for this story to go. I'm a genius futurist. I can't help it. 3 sins for not knowing how futurism works throughout this entire series. Friday, don't be messing with me. I'm not programmed to mess with you. The calculations on Ulysses' brain activity are far from complete, but I think I know how his visions work. Show me. Oh my god. What is that? It's our future. Marvel really should just replace every to be continued they do with a picture of dramatic John Cena. Why is Carol flying and Spider-Man jumping 3 feet off the ground if Rocket Raccoon can keep up with them? Hey, don't make fun of her flying style. We've all had the random urge to do the swim before. Jennifer! There you are. There you are. You've been hibernating for a long time, lady. You remember how you got here. What happened to you? Thanos. Yeah, it went badly. Fubar! How long have I been out? No one here will talk to me. Aw, that's sweet. Carol doesn't lose her friend from her own stupidity. Yay? No, Jennifer, he's dead. No, I'm sorry. He's not. He's the Hulk. I'm so sorry, Jennifer. How? Hawkeye. Hawkeye? Now that's just impossible. I saw it. I was there. You woke up just in time. Where is he? I'm telling you, we arrested him, put him on trial. And? You've been out for a long time. You just woke up in time for the verdict. It literally just came down. And tell her how you went to bat for Hawkeye and made it very clear that he was not in the wrong in any way, Carol. Tell your best friend about what you said about her cousin's killer. And? Yeah, that's right, She-Hulk. Ender. Don't let this get to a 5th issue. Don't you just hate when they use old pictures of you? When was the last time Hawkeye actually wore that outfit? Sin for being an ancient picture at this point, but win for my West Coast fanboyism coming through. And never, and I mean never, count Tony Stark out. I'm so lost. I need your help. Wah, wah, wah. This Ulysses guy. I know you think I'm being overdramatic about him. I know some think that I'm lashing out at Danvers because I can't get over what happened to Rhodey or Banner. And maybe that's true, but it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. No, you blame Danvers because literally everything she's tried with Ulysses has ended in one of your friend's deaths. Your anger towards her is very understandable. If we learned anything from our time in uniform or as Avengers, it's not that the future, it's not written. It can't be written. And that was my original problem with this new Inhuman. This future reading, fortune-telling, vision-making, you can't see a future that hasn't happened yet. But you've already scientifically proven that these visions were wrong because they stop the future before it happens. As an Avenger, you've learned this a few times. Sort of the actual point of Tony Stark in the late 90s when he was evil and his teen self came back to stop him. Yeah, no one's going to remember that. So with that in mind, well, I took it upon myself to scan his brain. I downloaded a copy of it, to be more precise. That sounded very Dr. Doomish, but I don't care. I did it, it's done. No, doing a brain scan of someone isn't Dr. Doomish at all. The kidnapping, on the other hand. He's not seeing the future because it's not there. He's creating an algorithm of a possible future. Yes, maybe a very possible future. But, and you have to hear me on this one, it is only an algorithm. It's math. It's guesswork. So then 4 issues in, and we learn you're right. My god, you just spent half of an issue explaining that the kid sees a potential future. 10 sins because I do not want to go over this wheel-spinny BS again. And even that may be less sins than it's earned. You don't get it. It's profiling. It's profiling our future. And by Carol acting on it as if it were the Bible, she is, by any definition, profiling individuals. Wait, now the comic is about profiling based on probability? Well, I guess it's more interesting than them being stupid about a precog anyways. Still a sin. I'm saying free will is being eliminated from the process of choice. I'm saying if you allow this kid power to have the final I'm saying free will is being eliminated from the process of choice. I'm saying if you allow this kid's power to have the final say, no one in his visions has accountability for themselves. And without personal accountability, what are we? Ooh, I know this answer. We'll be in a world where, crap, we'd be right in the world we are right now. Sin for Marvel aiding in that. So there it is. You tell me I'm crazy. You tell me I'm wrong. And you tell me, and I swear I'll give up. You're crazy for thinking you're wrong here. Maybe if we weren't seeing her being wrong play out alongside this argument, it would be a lot more interesting. I'm going to listen to Steve Rogers. Tony, are you absolutely 100% sure about all of this? Would this scene be more poignant if we didn't know the Cap was Hydra, or that Secret Empire was starting like a week or two after this? She's forcing your hand. The facts are forcing my hand. No, you can admit it. It's her fanaticism towards these visions that is forcing your hand. I already have. It's not wrong. So, in front of all of us, knowing what you know now, Carol, what are you gonna do? Y'all know how she's gonna act. Again, it's her fanaticism. God, I was less annoyed by the character assassination in Cry for Justice than this. What am I going to do? A person comes up to you and says, that guy over there has a gun and he said he's about to open fire. Do you go check it out, or do you say to yourself, well, I'll wait until he opens fires to see if the first guy was right? Or you use option 3. You position yourself close to the guy with the gun, so if he reaches for it, you take him out. You're saying, what if there was only a 10% chance Thanos was going to get his hands on a cosmic cube before we stopped him? That's more than enough for me. Literally, this entire scene was handled better when Ben Affleck was screaming it at Jeremy Irons. 3 sins! When you're trying to say that you're in the right, maybe the best option is to take the stairs. After what happened to Banner, I'm going to have to go public with this. I'm going to have to let people know what she is up to and what this is. How cool would it be if Marvel actually knew how to use social media to market, and we actually got leaked documents for this, since for having no plans for this event before launching it. I've never even been arrested before. My dad is a cop. I get a phone call. I want to call my dad. Carol, you need proof. We'll find it. When Maria Hill is looking at you like you're going too far, you need to really stop and think that maybe Carol needs to have a sit down. I'm arresting Tony Stark. You'll need to find him first. No you won't. He's here? Rooftop. Well, we were ready for this. Not for this. Are we sure this wasn't Bendis rushing out his own version of what Secret Empire should have been? Sure it is. I warned you. We all warned you. Over and over. You are under arrest, Tony Stark. Hey, halfway through this series and we finally actually get sides drawn. Beautiful. Sin it. I have friends all over the place. Yeah, but why? Quill would have definitely been opposed to Carol's zealotry. Hell, even Space Knight Venom, who's had a fantastic story about being a war vet, and he'd have seen the negatives to Chair Force General Danvers over here. And that is all for this ComicSins. But don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell thing to be able to watch more videos put out by the Comic Archivist. If this gets enough views, part 2 for the Civil War ComicSins will be up and made and all that. So please, like, share, and subscribe. Share it anywhere you can. Get those views up, and hopefully ComicSins will be able to come out of hiatus shortly.